the early 20th century, a brilliant generation of Kazakh intellectuals stepped forward to fight for the future of their nation. This was the Alash movement. To analyze their legacy, our project answers a central question. Was Alash a broad project of national modernization for all of society, or simply a limited initiative of a small circle of intellectuals acting under strict colonial conditions? Our main argument is that Alash was a deeply ambitious modernization project meant for the entire Kazakh society. However, the harsh realities of Russian colonial rule and the violent rise of the Soviet regime artificially cut it short, leaving its massive potential unfulfilled.
Our first analytical statement is that Alash was a broad populist project, not an elite one. Their 1970 political program proved this by demanding universal voting rights, independence of courts, freedom of religion, a national army to protect all Kazakhs, regardless of social status.
Furthermore, as historian Aidyn Campbell notes, leaders like Ahmet Batursunov actively reformed the Kazakh Arabic alphabet. This wasn't for a limited circle. It was a highly practical tool designed to rapidly wipe out mass illiteracy among ordinary nomads. Our analytical comment is that Alash used cultural and educational reforms as weapons to prepare the entire society for modern self-governance. Our second analytical statement addresses the severe limits imposed by colonial conditions. At the time, mass literacy across the steppe was incredibly low, meaning the highly educated Alash leaders formed a very thin social layer. They operated under total Tsarist surveillance and faced massive Slavic peasant migration that threatened Kazakh lands, forcing them to spend valuable time constantly fighting legal battles against the imperial state.
Looking closely at Mirza Kapitulatov's famous 1909 publication, O Young Kazakh, we see a direct, urgent appeal to the masses, not the elites. Our short analytical comment is that while their numbers were small due to colonial education gaps, and their goals were entirely populist, they were forced to act as a tight-knit circle because the colonial state actively blocked them from building a massive, legal political party. Our third analytical statement is that the ultimate limitation of the Alash project was the violent onset of Soviet totalitarianism. During our mandatory team research visit to the Presidential Center, we analyzed historical exhibitions and documents tracing the tragic fate of the Alash order government. The museum materials show how the Soviet regime initially pardoned these intellectuals, only to systematically arrest and execute them during the purges of the 1930s.
In conclusion, the Alash movement was far more than an isolated political initiative by a few intellectuals. It was a comprehensive, brilliant blueprint for a modern democratic Kazakh state that addressed land rights, language, and universal education.